You must love everybody for at least 2 years. And then the second-hand Audi. So look, you've been very good here tonight, and you're very old to be out. But can you give us this note, please? It might be the last note you ever write. Say no. Come on. It's a long way to come. You're not fucking about that. Lay down, my dear sister. Won't you lay and take your rest? Lay your head upon my Savior's breast. For I love you. Jesus loves you the best, and I bid you good night, good night, good night. Yeah, I bid you good night, good night, good night. Early morning's bright, early and fine. Good night, good night. Not a cricket, not a soul to slow me down. Good night, good night. Well, I'll be walking in the valley of the shadow of death. Good night.
At the ending of the world. Good night.
You know, he ate all the children when they wouldn't be good.
Good night.
Good night. I remember it quite well. Remember it quite well. Good night. Good night. I remember quite well. Remember it quite well. Good night. Good night. 'Cause I was walking in Jerusalem just like John. Good night. Good night. Walking in Jerusalem just like John. Good night. Good night. Lay down, my dear sister. Would you lay and take your rest? Would you lay your head upon my Savior's breast? For I love you, but Jesus loves you the best, and I bid you good night. Good night, good night. Yeah, I bid you good night. Good night, good night. Oh, bid you good night. Good night, good